So everybody, to start off tonight, we're gonna talk about who's more entitled, men or women, in the dating marketplace. Who's acting like entitled little shitheads the most. To start off, do you think men feel more entitled than women in professional settings? That's the first question. Do men feel more entitled in professional settings? And I'll start again across the table from me.
Um, I think females are more entitled in a professional setting. I think now that the whole entire stereotype of men
Here,
are
talk more into your mic if you can.
men are getting more money, men are this, that. I think it's now like females.
Sorry, has to be direct to your mouth.
I'm sorry. Now women are starting to be more, more professional, more just like getting to the job, and I think women are more,
The
overpowering.
overpowering.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think men feel more entitled than women in professional settings?
I think that women feel more entitled now because they have to prove themselves.
Talk a little closer if you can.
I think women feel more entitled now because they have to prove themselves, that they deserve everything they get because they work so hard, especially to show that they are equal in majority of workforces. But men, I feel like the definition of entitlement for them is different because they just think, they don't even think that they're being entitled. They just are.
No.
Because they don't even have to think like, oh, am I going to be up for this promotion? They're just like, I should.
They just think that they're just assuming that they should get the promotion because they're a man.
Yeah, and I think that's also where entitlement comes from. Is like, where do you think you deserve anything? For women, I feel like the entitlement comes from them actually working. And they're like, well, I should be entitled to this because I've been putting this many man hours in, or women hours. But for men, it's like, well, they don't even have to think about it. And that's where true entitlement lies, is when you don't even have to think that you need to do anything for you to get everything.
Yeah, subconsciously, he just thinks he deserves that.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think, man?
I don't really have much of an opinion in the workforce, to be honest with you. I don't really see too much of a difference as far as like entitlement.
Yeah, I wanted to know, other
honest with
than the job thing, what's another example of that? Like other than the moving up, like a promotion, is like, can you give me another example? I'm just trying to think of something myself, and I can't even think of anything
I would
else.
say, like, if you have to, there's a reason why we have, like, what is that thing called? Like, conferences for women in power, right? There's a reason why we have that. There's a reason why women come together and there are classes taught on how to gain more power. Because when you're a man, it's like given to you. That's what I mean. Is that like if you work in a corporate office or any setting, there's going to be women empowerment, like how to win blah 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 as a woman, how to get ahead as a woman. There's a reason why we don't have that for men.
I got a question. Do you think that like it's unfair right now in the workforce for like men and women? Like would you say that there's like inequality right now for men and women when it comes to like, do you believe in the pay gap and stuff like that?
I think that there's less of that now.
Yeah.
I think specifically because we have resources for women to understand the exact game that they have to play every single day to make sure that they get ahead.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we're still playing games.
Yeah.
We still have to tactfully do every single thing, whereas a man, they don't have to think about that. They just have to think, I just have to work hard. Well, as a woman, I need to work hard, but I also need to work harder than everybody else.
See, I actually heavily disagree with you. Like if we look at firefighters, like your test is easier. Like everything that you have to do to become a firefighter it's easier. If we look at affirmative action, if we look at a lot of policies through a lot of woke companies, they're going to move women up way easier. If we actually look at, like the pay gap stuff, it all completely falls apart when you look at individual companies and stuff like that. It actually shows that women actually out earn most men in a lot of companies because there's so many policies that are propping women up. So like women graduate at 60% of the rate compared to men at 40% rate from college. Women out earn men in most major cities today. So like when you look at those type of stats and stuff, it's really like the pay gap or like women like not being entitled. Like I would say that like they're actually so entitled that the entire workforce has completely changed because of women's entitlement, to the point that we change rules and we change stuff for them to make it easier. And like that's okay. But like the firefighter thing, I want a guy who's able to carry me outside of the house to be a firefighter, you know? So it's like when they reduced the like the what the women have to do by saying you only have to carry 50 pounds or 100
Mhm.
pounds instead of the 150-pound test, you know, that's something that as it's a big deal. Like at the end of the day, we know who's running to the house to get the people, and it's going to be the men that can carry the 150-pound person, you know?
I think also you have to think about, like, okay, for example, coal mining.
Hmm.
Very male dominated, if any, maybe like if any women work in it,
Why do you think that is?
because of the direct impact and the physicality of the job.
Like they don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
women.
I think also, like, for example, okay, so where I was going with that was like when it comes to like stripping, right? Sex work for
Mhm.
women. You can think that, like, okay, it's a predominantly woman based job force, right? When you think about stripping, and like there's men that make less money than women, right?
Yeah.
But why is that? It's because the job requires, and majority of the people that pay for that service are men. So when you look at like specific jobs in that category, yes, it could be more sexist. There could be more things geared towards that specific gender, which they will thrive better. But when we're looking at things like doing paperwork, are you really going to say that men and women can't do paperwork the same way? Yeah, you can. But the thing is that to get to the levels of where we can say that we're CEOs, because there's still, women might be making more money now. But who actually has the power?
So
Mm.
again, the question is, I understand maybe some jobs that require a lot of physical strength, but a lot of STEM fields are still dominated by men. Why is that?
Why are most STEM fields dominated by
Yeah.
men? I think it's because in early development of childhood. So I actually used to work as a special education TA for a while, and there are a lot of things with early development that were extremely prominent to me when talking to children of different sexes.
Mhm.
Like women, you're geared from an early age. Like I'm a comedian because I'm a woman, and that scares the shit out of so many men.
I don't
Scares
know
them.
why.
I don't think that's true.
I think it is, because like when you go on a date with a man, because majority of women, like, they're not that saying that women can't be funny. Women are funny, but it's not a trait that is gonna. There you go.
I think you're confusing fear and intimidation with apathy. We just don't care.
About.
A woman being funny.
But there's a reason why women are not taught to be that way. There's
No,
a reason why
I
people aren't
understand.
pushed to be that
I'm
way.
just talking about when you're saying that we're scared.
Hmm.
We're not scared.
See, when you say that, that's coming from a male perspective, right? So is what I'm saying completely incorrect from a perspective of a woman who would go on a date with a man and they get so like, I don't know how to deal with this kind of conversation because you're outwitting them.
Would you not say that there's a lot of nuance to that?
There's
What
definitely some
I'm
nuance. 100%.
disputing is that you're saying that we are scared. I understand
Mhm.
you may think that, but I'm telling you that's not true. We just
Okay.
don't care.
There could be a lot of other factors than
Oh,
just
there definitely
the
could be.
comedy thing, you know?
But saying that would not say that people can't be scared.
So let me ask you a question then. Whenever you think about attraction, who do you usually hear more wants the opposite sex to be funny? Women wanting a man that's funny,
Absolutely.
or a man wanting a woman that's funny?
Women want men that are funny.
Because the fact that men don't care about a funny woman.
No, not necessarily.
So you think it's because they're scared?
I think
What
for
percent
the
of men do you think prioritize a woman being funny to pick as a partner?
I think the reason why men don't prioritize women as being funny is because they think about so many other external factors instead.
What would that be? What do you
Face,
think?
ass, and titties.
Well, that's physical attraction, but which helps. But what do you think men look for in women?
I think that they look for people that will take care of them.
Nurturing?
Yeah.
And
That is
why
the
do they
number
want
one
that?
thing.
What caused them to want this?
Because they can't do it for themselves.
Because they can't nurture themselves?
I think for a majority of the relationships that I've ever been in, I am a very strong, independent woman. I don't like it when men take care of me. That's something that I actively am just like, I got this for myself. I don't need you. But men, the moment that they're like, oh, I'm an independent person, the moment anything happens, for example, when men get sick, that's number one. It's like, oh, now I have to do all these things to make sure that like you stop crying. But like for a woman, when I'm sick, I still have to take care of myself and you and all my other responsibilities because you guys don't have it in you to nurture like that. And I'm not saying that like men and women, we have different characteristics and traits that are something that society
Where
has.
do these characteristics come from? Are they innate as us as a species, or do you think they're socially constructed?
I think it's both.
What percent would you attribute to each one? 50-50?
No.
Obviously,
I would say
because
in
I think it's
today's world.
50-50. So let's Go ahead. In today's world, what do
I
you
would say in
think?
today's world, because now, it's not like men, you have to go hunt
No,
every 10
I'm
seconds.
asking you, what percent do you think is attributed to nature
So
versus
I think that
social
majority
construct?
of it now
Mhm.
is the socialization aspect of it
I
would
see.
be
So how
definitely
can
like
you? How can
70%.
you think
I
70% is
think
because
70%.
70% nurture.
Would-
Hey y'all, Sergio here. I just want to mention I've created a completely free guide that shows you exactly how I went from having low confidence and being painfully awkward around women to easily meeting and dating numerous high quality desirable women in real life without the use of any dating apps or social media. So if you're struggling to get out there, if you have approach anxiety or don't know what to say or how to interact with women to make them want you and are sick of using dating apps with low value girls that hundreds of other guys have been chatting with, click the link in the description below to grab your free guide right now. And if you want private mentorship with me personally to help guide you every step of the way in this process, check out my mentorship program in the description too. I would be happy to help you reach your dating goals and overcome any obstacle you may face. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. I hope to see you soon. Peace out.